Surveillance video and Fox 4 viewers helped police arrest a woman suspected of stealing wallets in hair salons and business offices. Hello, I'm Steve Eager.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes. Fox 4 News showed surveillance video of several crimes. Now the suspect is booked in the Dallas County Jail, and she's been there many times before, according to county records. Fox 4 Sean Rabb has been reporting on the wallet thefts for months now and joins us with this update that viewers have really been paying attention to, Sean.
Yeah, they have, Heather, and we have been contacted by email and phone calls from all across North Texas, including McKinney. McKinney police tell us today they know about the Dallas arrest and that they're completing their investigations on at least 4 wallet theft cases potentially before they file any charges.
That is the lady that came in our office that took my cell phone and my wallet.
Tracy Rotherman looks at the images of the woman she says took her for more than material things.
The credit card and the theft wasn't quite as heartbreaking as my cell phone had the last voicemail that my mom had ever left me. And so I don't have that anymore, and I had planned on keeping that cell phone.
Now, the victims of crime often go unrecognized. And this may seem like something petty. Oh, listen, my wife still has her dad's cell phone. She pays the bill every month. He passed away 4 years ago, going on 5. She pays the bill every month on the phone just so she can have the phone that he had in the messages and all that stuff. I remember one time I was about 18, me and my cousin, we went into a store in the Maryland area, and we were just, we were thieving. We were just thieves. We loved stealing. We loved being bad. We loved doing antisocial stuff. We liked committing crime. But this woman who worked there at the department store, she had her purse on the counter. So she was like working back in, like, when you walk through like a Macy's or something, or a department store, and they have all those different booths, and we were just walking through, going to the, looking for, going to the section. I think it was a mall or something we were going in, and we were looking for the mall part. But you know how you can enter from the side of the mall, you can come through the stores, and then it leads to the mall. Seen her purse, snatched it, had her wedding ring in it. Took her wedding ring, I think we pawned it for like $50 or something. Her money, her wallet, everything. And hearing this woman talk about this made me think about that. Like, damn, we took that lady's wedding ring, pawned it for like $50, and that thing was priceless to that woman.
The credit card and the theft wasn't quite as heartbreaking as my cell phone had the last voicemail that my mom had ever left me. And so I don't have that anymore, and I had planned on keeping that cell phone.
This is the woman, suspect in Rotherman's theft and suspected in many more. Royce Session. She was arrested and booked into Dallas County Jail a week ago. Some of her alleged victims alerted us. Records show she's been arrested in Dallas County alone multiple times since 2013.
Now, she got a different hairstyle in each arrest. Well, the one 2013, she kind of. Now there's a gap between 2014 and 2019. Can anyone explain that gap? Get in the comment section, explain that gap in her arrest record from 2014 to 2019. What's the cause of that?
She was arrested and booked into Dallas County Jail a week ago. Some of her alleged victims alerted us. Records show she's been arrested in Dallas County alone multiple times since 2013. Not only this new case, but she's being held on a parole violation. She pled guilty to theft, 2 convictions previously, and was sentenced only in October of 2020 to a year in jail. This video obsession using stolen credit cards and Dallas car audio was used by detectives in part to build their case. The cards belonged to a woman who had talked with Session in her office before she allegedly took her wallet. That arrest affidavit says that victim was watching the evening news when she saw a news piece about recent wallet thefts at a Fort Worth hair salon.
So she booked an appointment through an alias name.
Video rebroadcast early May from celebrity-styled Novak's hair studio, Fort Worth.
I saw you guys covered her and kind of followed so many of the things that were happening. It was incredible to see so many people find the courage to step up and say, okay, we're not going to stand for this type of behavior happening to us.
Novak's surveillance video, crucial. The affidavit continues, the victim instantly recognized the suspect as being the same person she was having a conversation with.
She can't do this to anybody else. Just come and walk in an office building portraying to be interested in your company.
So there could be at least a dozen victims or more. Don't know how many yet, certainly in a handful of cities, literally from Mansfield to McKinney. So we'll have to wait and see over the next few weeks, guys, how many more charges are brought against Roy Session.
Now, this sister is going to explain to us why what our friend Roy Sessions down in Dallas, the sister purse snatcher, wallet snatcher, why what she was doing is no big deal.
An alternative to arrest. That's very important. We don't quite have a model like that in the state of Georgia. Let me explain to you the difference between PAD and a lot of organizations. We have a pre-arrest diversion component that is specific to working in partnership with law enforcement before an arrest happened. So let me give you a great example, and I love to give this example of what PAD does. Let's say you have a young lady in a grocery store that is stealing some food. She might be 6 months pregnant. She's in a store, she's stolen some food. The clerk calls the police. The law enforcement officer arrives at the scene and he sees that clearly she's pregnant. She appears hungry. You have a clerk here that says, hey, she's stolen some food. The obvious and the immediate thing for the clerk to do at the store is call the police, because that's the only option he or she knows at the time. What PAD does is PAD works with law enforcement to provide an alternative to arrest. So the officer has a bit of discretion that they can use on whether to make the arrest or to refer out. We are that agency that stands in the gap to refer out. The reason that we're asking and working with Atlanta Police, MARTA Police, and Fulton County Police in this effort is to be able to curve, to be able to provide real support systems, to be able to provide real resources. That diversion at that point of where an arrest could have taken place now diverts this individual to care, meaning this person is hungry. They need food, okay? So there was a crime that was committed, okay? Now we have an opportunity to engage with the store clerk and saying, hey, you have an alternative to an arrest, okay? There's a resource that can connect this person that could have committed a crime, okay, to some real resources that can turn their life around. That's what PAD does currently, and that's how PAD is working with the police. For me, it's a partnership with police, with the local community in providing resources. An arrest does not take place at all, so the criminal record is not created. So that's huge.
Now, I'm sure this sister means well. I'm sure she does. I'm not going to sit here and besmirch this sister. She seems like a nice woman. I'm sure she means well. And if she doesn't, I'll just be a fool. She got me. You know, if she has nefarious intentions on trying to ruin the community and she's shilling for the Democrats, then she just fooled me. I believe this woman has good intentions. However, if You don't arrest these people when they commit crimes, because there's always going to be a reason. I'm pregnant, I'm hungry, yada, yada, yada. There's always going to be a reason why the criminal did it, you know? If you don't arrest them and you link them up with resources, how many times do you do that? What if the pregnant lady, she just analogized, hypothesized, has an arrest record like our friend here in Dallas? And she gets caught. And the clerk, calls the police, and the police show up. And the police, then they're like, well, we don't want her to be arrested. And the police is like, well, wait a second. This woman got a long list of... Then is the police, arguing with the clerk on whether they should make the arrest? Is it like the clerk got just as much pull in the arrest as the clerk? Like, well, I don't care. I mean, she probably, And then is it like a back and forth between the cop and the clerk? Like, what's going on here, man? Like, they're doing, it's too much. She stole something. She's under arrest. That's it. They got plenty of soup kitchens. And trust me, man, when I was a kid, man, I'm trying to tell you, food banks, I seen it all, man. And it was for a short period of time now. I'm not talking about forever, like my whole childhood. Like some people, they grew up on food stamps from the time they was like 1 to 18. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a small period of time. But my mother did the food banks, the food stamps, the government cheese, all that. I seen it. I get it. There's resources and there's stuff out there, but she don't need to come in contact with the criminal justice system in order to get those resources. And also, thirdly, this emboldens criminality. And real criminals are going to take advantage of this and ruin this for the women who it might, the 1 or 2 women who's stealing bread to eat, who this might help.
Surveillance video you'll see on just one station, a stranger opening a woman's car and snatching her purse. The sneaky steal happening when the victim quickly ran inside her home.
As 7's Sheldon Fox tells us in this exclusive, her bag wasn't the only thing taken.
There she is, a mystery woman in Miami Shores. She disappears from this surveillance camera view, but you'll see her again. Here she is seconds later, only with a purse in her possession. And no, it's not hers. It belongs to Sandra Aponte. She showed us a picture of the purse that was ripped off from her unlocked SUV Sunday.
Less than 5 minutes or less, my purse got stolen from my car.
She also gave 7 News this exclusive interview after her crummy experience unloading groceries and leaving her vehicle and bag unattended for just moments. Also, her missing bag may be the least of her worries.
My daughter's cell phone was stolen from the car. When I got back to the car, I couldn't turn the car on because my keys from my car were inside the purse as well.
You just ruin somebody's whole day when you steal a guy's wallet, or you steal a woman's purse, or go in somebody's car. These are not petty crimes to the victim. Now, I know the sister that we featured, the criminal reform activist that we featured earlier, she thinks that the woman who stole this lady's this lady's purse, she thinks that she should, not go to jail for a night, which would be the only punishment she will receive. Locking this woman up is not going to ruin her life. It would be the only consequence. Because this will definitely, the prosecutor down there is not going to prosecute this. So, she gets off scot-free if you don't arrest her. At least arresting her gives her some punishment. Miss Criminal Justice, Criminal Reform Activist.
Unloading groceries and leaving her vehicle and bag unattended for just moments. Also, her missing bag may be the least of her worries.
My daughter's cell phone was stolen from the car. When I got back to the car, I couldn't turn the car on because my keys from my car were inside the purse as well.
Northwest 95th Street between Northwest 1st and 2nd Avenues is where the purse snatch walk-off happened. On foot, she heads over to the SUV, enters it from the driver's side, spends 30-plus seconds there, only to come away with her grab bag, then casually strolls away. Aponte admits, even though she was close by and in very familiar surroundings, she should have known better than to leave her items unsecured and out of sight.
I'm always trying to be cautious, alert. I don't know what happened today. I let my guards down. I don't know what happened.
Now it's a matter for Miami Shores cops.
I feel violated. Like my identity got, all my information is there pretty much.
But that mystery woman is here on camera, and that could be of help. It happened Sunday afternoon in Miami Shores. Anybody with information on this is urged to call the Shores Police Department or Crime Stoppers.
We have a pre-arrest diversion component that is specific to working in partnership with law enforcement before an arrest happened. So let me give you a great example, and I love to give this example of what PAD does. Let's say you have a young lady in a grocery store that is stealing some food. She might be 6 months pregnant. She's in a store, she's stolen some food. The clerk calls the police. The law enforcement officer arrives at the scene and he sees that clearly she's pregnant. She appears hungry. You have a clerk here that says, hey, she's stolen some food. The obvious and the immediate thing for the clerk to do at the store is call the police, because that's the only option he or she knows at the time. What PAD does is PAD works with law enforcement to provide an alternative to arrest. So the officer has a bit of discretion that they can use on whether to make the arrest or to refer out. We are that agency that stands in the gap to refer out. The reason that we're asking and working with Atlanta Police, MARTA Police, and Fulton County Police in this effort is to be able to curve, to be able to provide real support systems, to be able to provide real resources. That diversion at that point of where an arrest could have taken place now diverts this individual to care, meaning this person is hungry. They need food, okay? So there was a crime that was committed, okay? Now we have an opportunity to engage with the store clerk and saying, hey, you have an alternative to an arrest, okay? There's a resource that can connect this person that could have committed a crime, okay, to some real resources that can turn their life around. That's what PAD does currently, and that's how PAD is working with the police. For me, it's a partnership with police, with the local community in providing resources. An arrest does not take place at all, so the criminal record is not created. So that's huge.
All right, another brazen theft at a San Francisco drugstore caught on video. It comes after the governor and local officials pledged to crack down on crime that has forced so many stores to close down. Our crime reporter Henry Lee joins us now live. He's at SFPD headquarters with the latest. Henry.
Yeah, it's been happening over and over, Julie. Thieves thinking they can steal things with impunity, thinking they will never get caught. This is an issue that brought a candidate for governor to San Francisco today. It's happened again. 4 women run off after stealing from the CVS pharmacy at Van Ness and Jackson in San Francisco, this time just before 6 Monday night. It's the latest grab-and-go crime in San Francisco that's forced many drugstores in the city to close.
All these bags were empty. These ain't women that just went in there with big bags so they can slip some, a tube of lipstick in there it's eased out. All these women went in there with empty bags, filled them up with products, and ran out of the store into a waiting car. And they do this all the time. Like, this happens. This is like the new, like when I used to steal, you had to be sneaky. Like, my whole thing was stealth. And this is when I was very young, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm 13 to 18. But I was, very prolific. And so were the guys that we were sneaky. We never thought of doing nothing like this. Like, this wouldn't even cross your mind. But this is the new thing because they decriminalized this stuff in a lot of areas. A lot of areas, it's like you can't get prosecuted for this, even if they arrest you. The prosecutor won't even bring up charges. But the security guards aren't even supposed to do anything now. Only time you're gonna get some beef with stealing is if you steal from like a corner store, mom and pops, a bodega, or something where the family right there own it. The man who owned it is working the counter and his wife is in aisle 3 stocking the shelves. Then they gonna come chase you. But any name brand store or anything else, it's open season. And people are taking advantage of it. And now if they catch these women, right? What do you say? And one of them says, if the cop comes and one of them says, well, I was stealing all these products because I'm pregnant and I got a baby at home. And we poor and we was going to sell these products on the street, the black market, to get some Pampers and some formula. And then the clerk is like, oh man, that's terrible, man. Officer, let's step into let's have a huddle off to the side and let's talk this out. So see if we can come to a resolution about what happens to this woman. Me, I say the cop shouldn't have to talk it out with the clerk. Cop should just put her in handcuffs and take her down to the jail. She'll get out the next day. She'll get out the same day on this. Same day or next day on this. And then the prosecutor won't prosecute it. But now you're making it even easier. You got to understand how she'll get out the same day and the prosecutor won't prosecute her on this. Won't bring her to trial on this. Now you're making it even easier to where the clerk and the cop gotta, have a back and forth. Then what if the clerk say, you know what, lock her up, and then this girl come down the next day and beat the clerk up with a bunch of girls. These same girls come down here. You could have told them to not lock me up. Now the girl, it's so much that could go wrong with that. And this is why these sisters with these pie in the sky democratic policies, it destroys communities. And so, and the brothers too. And the pasty liberals, this stuff destroys communities. Lock her up, take her to jail, have a record of her thieving, give her a mug shot. And I just did the video the other day, mug shots. They trying to get rid of mug shots. So it's already easy enough. Criminals got it good enough. There doesn't need to be any more reform, criminal justice reform. They got it good enough. It's sweet to be a criminal. And all we're hearing all day is about, we need reform. Really?
Run off after stealing from a CVS pharmacy at Van Ness and Jackson in San Francisco, this time just before 6 Monday night. It's the latest grab-and-go crime in San Francisco that's forced many drugstores in the city to close. The man who took this video tells me he feels sorry for the workers who have lost their jobs or have had their hours reduced because of what he called out-of-control shoplifting. Organized retail theft has become such a hot-button issue that it's now a point of focus in the upcoming gubernatorial recall election. Former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer spoke outside the shuttered Walgreens at Larkin and Bush in San Francisco, blasting the governor.
A governor who has supported
the lessening of laws when it comes to stealing items under $950, lowering those consequences. At a news conference last week, Newsom said he signed a new law that maintains task forces across the state that crack down on retail theft. San Francisco Police Chief Bill Scott supports the legislation.
When they see these things go viral, the perception of lawlessness, the perception that anything goes, really, that has to be overcome too.
Okay, the brother police chief. And I can't blame this brother police chief, even though everywhere has a black police chief. I mean, I can't blame this brother. I mean, you can't blame this brother. If their hands are tied, really. Like, their hands are tied. Now, there are things you could blame the police chief on, but this one is not one of them. If they go in and arrest these people, the person fights, one of these criminals might actually be willing to fight a cop over not getting arrested, even though they're not going to get charged. They just don't feel like going down to the jail for a few hours. And then you have a situation where it goes viral and the cop life is ruined, or the cop has to, God forbid, discharge a service pistol or tase somebody, and then it's excessive force and somebody's and cops are being put in more and more of these situations because people are doing more and more brazen crime, and the clerks at the store still have the mindset to call the police. And people are just and this is the only recourse that clerks have really now, is to videotape these people. Videotape these people. And shame them maybe. But they don't have any shame, so clerk doesn't realize that when you're a thief like this, and if you're a criminal and you the only thing that deters you is the law enforcement. Shame, okay, you're gonna put me on blast, but ain't nothing gonna happen to me. Oh, don't care about that. And these people could literally say, look, man, I was stealing this stuff because, if by chance one of the rare cases where they get prosecuted, right? So let's just say 1 out of 10 of these cases, that person, they want to make it to where that person can now say, well, I was stealing bread, because I was hungry. Well, I was stealing these products because I was hungry and I needed to sell them to make some money. Can you hook me up with some resources? Instead of taking me to jail. Clerk said it's okay. This country is going to crap. And I don't know if we can turn it around. Hit the like button, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.